Hi, welcome to OWAD today. I'm Sophia Pilot into the Universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration of the Chinese expressions. And in October, we are going to do 3-character Chinese set phrases. So today we're going to talk about 预算内. Wait, okay. All 3 are falling tone. So it's a little bit hard. It's almost like you're going over bumpers in language, and all of them are fallen tone, which in English, in the tonation of English, when it falls, it means it comes to an end of your flow of meaning, right? But in Chinese, individual characters, each of them have this fallen tone. So it kind of like a break 3 times. 预算内, kind of like that, right? But we're used to that. We break all the time. Okay, 预算内. Individually, 预 means predictive, and 算 means calculate. Okay, and then 内 means within. So again, just like yesterday, we talked about 计划外. We use this outside the planning. Put the outside is going after the main subject, right? Here the same, the 内 within 预算. 预算 means budgeting. So within 预算, the within, we have to, in Chinese expression, we never use 内预算. We use 预算内. We talk about the main thing and then talk about the attribute of that thing. That means we are going within it. So we talk the thing first, the subject matter first, and then we describe what happened to it. We are going within to it instead of within something. You have to hear the within in English first and then budgeting. There is a little bit of a logic twist over there. Okay. So 预 came from the left and right side. Left means giving. Can you visualize that? So this is a simple simplification of the hand symbol, kind of like looking like this, right? And then this is somebody else's hand without depicting this wrist portion. And so it looks like visually like you're reaching over. Wait, hold on, take back. So it looks like you're reaching over with something in your hand. Yeah, because exactly there's no wrist to it. So it's not the palm of somebody's hand anymore. It's the thing, whatever thing you're holding in your hand, you're kind of reaching over. That means you are giving somebody. So 予 on the left side, it's a self-standing Chinese character to today. It means giving. And then the right side is 业. 业 in Chinese, originally here, it means, today it means page. But in ancient times, it means a person with a emphasis on the head. So ancient times, this pretty much means big-headed person. Almost. The big head is this portion, and then this is the body of that person. So the big head is made of nose bridge and 2 verticalized nostrils. Okay, Chinese has this verticalization tendency because Chinese characters, if you see this, we call it rectangular word, right? It's narrower this way, longer this vertically. So vertically has more space to put stuff in, to stack up, rather than, getting horizontally wider. So one nostril, in the physical world, is left and right? It's horizontally parallel, but the language to save its horizontal space is stack them up, kind of flip at a 90 degree so that they got verticalized, and that I call it a verticalized nostril. And still under the nose bridge, kind of this section, kind of, what do you call it? This tri shape. And then this is the center of the face. So only a small area of the face. You have a lot of more residence on your face, right? But the language ignore all of them because that would be too much to draw on this face. So just draw the very center of face and then circle it around. That means the whole head. So that's the head sitting on top of somebody's body, 2 legs body. I think I almost visualize it as well. almost look like a side view of that person, right? And this actually is a little bit of exaggerated stroke of somebody sitting on the heel. So this is, you can view it this as the butt. It does look like butt, right? Side view butt. And then this is the knee. And then this is the calf. And here is elongated, exaggerated sole of the foot, kind of verticalized. So apparently ancient times, no chairs yet, people sit on their heels. Okay, so head over a person, big-headed person, that probably draw attention to the head, right? That's kind of your mental state, your mindset. So that's probably Chinese expression for mindset, to bring the visual of somebody's head up, like outsized head on top of that person. Okay, so the mindset of giving, why it becomes predictive. Okay, so in my view, okay, I'm trying to make up right now, okay? I haven't seen scholars making the connection of the dots yet, because in ancient times, this character, this combination of giving and this mindset together, it means somebody is in peace, at peace, or have a stable, peaceful life. And we can see that as if that person is in a mindset or in a mood, in today's fancy word, in a mood of giving. That means that person is probably well-to-do. They don't have insecurity over their life. Therefore, they can afford to give to other people. And this, this, I'm not sure it's a philanthropy, ancient times, but I mean, philanthropy is after industrialization, right? Somebody make a big, huge pile of money to philanthropize a huge amount of people. It's not that scale, but in ancient times, the scale, this concept of giving is like there were such small scale ancient times act of giving, of this, in the mood mindset of giving, depicting here. So originally that means a stable state of being, and that I can kind of relate. Like doing one word a day is a way of giving or sharing, using my time. But I feel secure or safe or at peace enough that I feel that at this stage of my life, I can afford to give, to share what I have, what I know about the language. So in that sense, I can relate why this giving, mind of giving, can be a symptom of somebody who is feels safe, feel at peace or at ease with their life. But eventually this character make a sort of linguistic or meaning, semantic turn to mean predictive. And I guess we can explain that as well. So if somebody is feeling secure enough to give, that means they must, in their mind, in anticipation of their future, like whatever they have already is enough to last for the rest of their life. Therefore, they feel okay to give right now. So in that sense, there is a prediction or there is an anticipation of their future of the life, like where your sense of secure come from. It's kind of a sort of a certainty about the future, right? You feel in the future you still have it, you still can have a comfortable, stable life, and that's embedded in your today's behavior of in the mood of giving. So kind of that's the assumption, right? Or the condition, the pretext of the act of giving. So there, in that logical turn, we can kind of connect the dots of, okay, this sense of security induced act of giving or mood of giving assumes that the prediction is you feel secure enough. Or assumes a sort of prediction of your future already in there. Okay, so that becomes predictive. Now, and I put this kind of a similar looking thing next to it because according to some scholars, these two were interchangeable. And this, this means a person, you see this person kind of similar to this side view person on top of an elephant. So this person over elephant actually means a huge elephant. I guess elephants have different species or types of elephants, and this is the huge type of elephants. And together, this giving an elephant sort of means traveling or big areas of something. So it became interchangeable sometimes. So I guess in language also, besides this convergence of visual representation of something, like the whole society or the language users, whoever are literate enough, agree on, there is also this divergence force throughout the evolution of language. Like sometimes people either intentionally misappropriate one character to represent another character because they're kind of similar looking, right? Or it's accidentally, like make a typo, a mistake, and then that be incorporated into the corpus of the language. And later later generations, like our thousands of years later, when we see this, like people use that as well. It could be a typo by somebody throughout the time in history, right? But then to us later days, it becomes, oh, that's interchangeable between the two. So I just want to share that with you. Okay, so we have bottom and top. Well, it looks like 5 components, right? But really, if you look at it, it will be 2 big parts. So the bottom parts, the 3 elements in here is 2-finger hand symbol, means you double hand, like you kind of hold something, hold something with care, right? It's you have to use both hands to handle something. And this something, it looks like an eyeball because it's a sphere with, again, verticalized lines in there. But in this case, actually, there is a convergence of a similar looking thing, which is a cookware, ancient times. So ancient cookware represent food, represent kitchen, represent the household. You have to cook for the whole household, right? And these 2 horizontal lines were simply the carvings or the art deco on the surface of the cookware, apparently, ancient times. I mean, it's a smart way as well, right? Like we live in the age of contemporary life when the utensils in our lives are no longer decorated. All the decoration on the surface, all the surface messages carved in as a decoration already taken out. It's a super bland, just the shape, just to serve the function. There's no meaning or message embedded in that anymore. I believe this is after the Bauhaus trend, kind of a minimalism, right? You simplify, just boil down to the essence of things. You want to use it as cookware, there you go, cookware. Don't bother with the message on it. But ancient times, if you go to visit a museum, you see the ancient, either is a mirror, like people would carve so much message and things into the mirror, the back of the mirror, or cookware. People would carve so decoratively, not only decoratively, some meaning, it must be some good meaning, or because cookware in ancient times is a big piece of metal that's molded into that shape. It's quite a work to make that. So I would imagine it's much more expensive than today's cookware to make one. And it could be an heirloom, cross-generational. So the previous generation who make this cookware, of course, are going to make it meaningful. They're going to try to embed their family values or best wishes for the next generation in there, right? So I see that's why that the utensils in everyday life would be embedded, heavily covered in messages in there. So those two horizontal lines just represent such surface message embedded into that cookware, and two hands preparing food for the family. So this basically a cooking act, or food serving, like when you're ready to have the cookware taken to the family. And the two signs over here are bamboo. So unlike the majority of the Chinese plant symbol, which is trident shape, which is the branches or leaves of the plant facing upward, sun facing, right, growing toward the sun. Bamboo is the icon that in Chinese kind of pointing downward to depicting the bamboo leaves draping down, kind of like that, kind of like loose, like relaxed. So this is bamboo. The reason why is because for the housewife, let's assume just one wife, it could be multiple wives in ancient times, when whoever prepares the food with two hands, right, have to calculate, have to make sure the food they're making match exactly the number of mouths in their household. So this matching, because I mean, ancient times of leftovers, like you cannot store in refrigerator. You have to be accurate to make sure everybody get fed enough and there are no more leftovers, right? So there is a fine zone you have to hit, the fine amount. So this sort of calculation over here, plus the bamboo, is because ancient times, a lot of calculator or everyday tools were made of bamboo because it's light, it's cheap, as long as it serves the function, it's good. So together, it actually depicts the ancient Chinese calculator. Ta-da! I have this for you. I'm very happy that I found this, my heirloom of this abacus. So this is a Chinese manual calculator. You can see there are many, many digits. So each column is a digit and below is a number, I think it's 5, right? So this is 5. And then when it becomes 6, you use this top one to represent another 5 digits. And then you can do, so the whole thing can represent 10. And then if you get this column filled up to 10, you move to the next column. That's a Chinese calculator, and you can do all kinds of operation. The basic, what's the word? The basic calculation operations can be done on the abacus. And this abacus, ancient times, these structures, besides the beads, I mean, beads is contemporary plastic. I would imagine ancient times, no plastic yet. So it would be bamboo beads, and also the frame would be bamboo. So the whole calculator, which is an everyday household or business tool to use, and that's captured by this character. Okay, so that represents calculate. So you predictively calculate something. That is Chinese response to the concept of budgeting. So budgeting is you kind of foresee what's going to cost you in the particularly the costing side, not the earning side, because the earning side probably is unpredictable. Well, it's still predictable, but the revenue, right? How much you're going to make depends on a lot of external factors, but how much you're going to spend is probably more in your control, right? So predictive calculate, something that's the Chinese definition of the act of budgeting. Okay, next we have this dome thing, that means a space. And then we have this triangle thing that by itself looks like a person in contemporary Chinese, but in this context, it doesn't exactly mean a person. It doesn't mean this person is kind of sticking the two legs onto a wall to try to climb somewhere. No, it actually is indication of you are entering into a space and you're staying in there. So this, if you view it as a person, if somebody is walking within, going inside that space, as you can see, the majority part of that is within this space. So that becomes within budget. I guess I translate as in budget. So it's calculation, mostly monetary calculation, and predictively to see how much you're going to spend, right? And then you try to control your spending accordingly. So that's 预算内. That means 内 especially means you achieve your goal. It's within your allocated monetary like budget. That's a Chinese way to say within the budget. 预算内. Catching to the currency of thinking about one more day with Sophie. See you another day.